your match, your burning sun. I'll be the bride and black that's making you run. I feel alright and we'll feel alright, 'cause we'll work it out. Yeah, we'll work it out. I'll be doing this if you ever doubt, till the love runs out, till the love runs out. I'll be your ghost, your game, your stadium. I'll be your 50,000 clapping like one. I feel alright and I feel alright, 'cause I worked it out. Yeah, I worked it out. I'll be doing this if you ever doubt, till the love runs out, till the love runs out. I've got my mind made up and I can't let go. I'm killing every second till it saves my soul. I'll be running till the love runs out, till the love runs out. And we'll start a fire and we'll shut it down, till the love runs out, till the love.
All right, it's that time. It is exactly 7 o'clock, a couple minutes after. We got a great special guest for you tonight, and I want you to guess who it is. Okay, time's up. We have got Carson Webb. He got the golden ticket, went to Hollywood, and he's got all these wonderful things going on for him. And I want you to meet him. He's very delightful. He can dance. He can tell jokes. Well, I ain't heard all the jokes. The one I heard him, but I know he's got some good ones here. Maybe he'll tell us one here in a second. So let's bring on uh, Carson here. Whoops! Hey, wait a minute. Where'd he go? There he is.
Sorry.
Carson, you there?
I am there. I'm
He,
sorry. I think I'm having a little bit of Wi-Fi issue.
he's got a little Wi-Fi. We all have Wi-Fi issues sometimes. And Carson, I mean, you had some great excitement in your life here in the past few months, and I tell you what, we were rooting for you because you're kind of from my hometown up that way also, and you are really I was rooting for you to continue to go on like that, but I want to go back a little bit more. I want to go back even further. Like, how did you really get into singing and music? And I know you was around 8 years old, but I got a feeling that it was kind of a little bit before 8 years old that you were really cutting up.
Yes, there was definitely been definitely been some things in my life. I've been singing since I was about 3. I've been singing for a very, very, very long time. I'll never forget the first time that my mom knew that I could sing. I was sitting in the back of her car, screaming to the top of my lung, "This girl is on fire" from Alicia Keys. There was a huge, huge pause because my mom was like, "There's no way." She was like, "That sounds really good for a 3-year-old." So my mom started working with me. I've been singing for a long time. I've done talent shows and I've been in choir my entire life. And I love music so much. It's just a huge part of my life, and I don't know where I'd be without it. Honestly, I wouldn't have even imagined being here at this age right now, even being 16, already having the opportunities that I already have. Getting the golden ticket was amazing and a huge opportunity for me.
Well, what kind of wanted to, when you was 8 years old, did you kind of did you learn to sing in the church, or no? Wait a minute. First of all, you got like five. Is it five women in your home? In your home,
Yes.
and and I know my sisters when I was growing up. That's how I learned how to dance because they didn't have nobody else to dance with right then, and so they'd grab me, and so that's where I kind of learned how to dance. So, uh, how old was you when you got right in front of a bunch of people just to sing?
Oh wow. So the first crowd of people at in Caldwell County, we have this thing called Kaleidoscope, and it's like a county-wide talent show, and it sits up to 1,500 people, and it's a huge crowd. And so first time I did that was, I think, first grade. It was my first time ever. Kindergarten I tried, but I didn't get in. But first grade I got put at the very end of the set, and which is very rare in my situation because they put the best people at the end, and so it was being put at the end in first grade. They knew that I had something special, and so that was the first time I'd ever sang in front of a huge crowd.
You know, at first grade, now I had really hard time remembering my alphabet, much less a song.
Yeah,
So, what do you remember the song that you sang? That
I think the song I sang was gosh, it had to have been oh, let's see. I don't know if I honestly remember. It was so long ago. I'm sure my mom has it on her Facebook page in the archives somewhere.
I'll bet she does. Got it somewhere. And now I noticed that when you're 8 years old and you're 16 years old, and 8 years ago, now you're talking about someone older like myself. Like 8 years ago, so wow, man, that's that's nothing. But 8 years ago, now you go. Now was you brought up in church and brought?
Yes, I have been involved in church my entire life. My mom, but when she had me, she was a single mom for a very long time until she met my dad that I live with now, who I love so much, who I consider my dad completely 100%. She had always kept us involved in church, and she's always done a great job of keeping up our faith and stuff, and which is amazing, considering that church has really helped develop my faith, and not only that, but also my vocal skills as well, because you have to have that diversity with different type of music, and so it was amazing being involved in church because I've had that opening to stuff.
Now, did your mama drag you up front to sing?
My mama never really brought me up. I think it was just I've always been kind of, I guess, open to singing. I've always had when it comes to being in front of people and having a stage presence and being involved in stuff, I've always been good with that. I've always been involved, very heavily involved in what I've done. So there's never been a time where my mom has had to force me to go on stage. There have been times that I've been like petrified to get on stage because there's people that I know or people that I'm afraid are going to judge me. And then like I get up there and I start singing and it's like I'm in a completely different world and I don't even care what people think about me.
Well, I can talk in front of people like 100 people, 1,000 people, no problem. Seven or eight, 10, you get a little nervous there because you got to have their totally focus on them.
Yeah.
Now, do you play any musical instruments? Instruments?
So yes, I do play piano. I've played piano since fifth grade, and the thing with that is I played it for a year in lessons, but they were having me play like hot cross buns, and I had gone home and like played Fur Elise by myself, and I had taught myself how to play it, and so there was no there was no like progress with that, so I am self taught completely on piano.
I'm not going to ask you to go to YouTube University to help you.
So I would hit YouTube every now and then, but I wasn't so all of the tutorials on YouTube are so different from the songs that you're learning because they don't have all those extra notes in there. It's the easy tutorials. And so
Right.
that's before they made the tutorials with all the extra stuff. And like so I being like the 10-year-old that I was would go on YouTube and look at the basics of it. Then I would just listen to it over and over and over again until I got it. So I would say I definitely have the play by ear.
Well, and that's a good gift because I know quite a few musicians, real famous ones that do the same thing. They just do it by ear. And
Yeah.
I must be deaf on some because I can't play by ear, can't play my fingers. My wife can play the piano and stuff like that. Now, did did you think about playing the piano when you was auditioning or?
So that was something that did crossed my mind because I have played and sang before a handful of times, but when it comes to playing and singing at the same time, there's so much multitasking that goes into it, and sometimes with specific songs, it can take away from my vocals. And because it's a singing competition, I didn't want to risk losing any vocal skills with my audition.
That makes great sense because I know quite a few piano players that they can just kind of look away and sing and just do all this stuff here, and then I got some that they can't do the both. My wife, she don't like, she can't do the both. She didn't want to sing and play at the same time because she, like you said, you got to focus on that one thing. What
Yeah.
was who was your inspiration that you looked at in singing that really got you really wanting to sing?
So I guess there's a handful of artists that have like been inspiring to me. So one person who's always like pushed me to do it is my mom, but one person that inspires me is Adele. And one reason for that is because Adele has gone through. I've done my research on her. Adele has gone through so much stuff in her entire career with like being divorced and then getting divorced and then going through a toxic relationship and getting broken up with. Like she's gone through so many different things, and then like she creates these masterpieces that express her emotions. And so I love how she was able to consume all of those emotions and implement it into a gorgeous piece of music. And that's always inspired me because, growing up as a teenager, like it's not easy. There's a bullies, there's people who make fun of you, there's people who are going to break your heart. Like there are plenty of things that teenagers go through. And kids too, like growing up, like like I can look back and think of all the times that I've done stuff as a kid that would be hilarious as a song or as a play or whatever. And so music, she's just a very big inspiration for me.
Now, have you? I know in school, you of course you sing. Uh, Did you ever play in any plays, drama plays?
Yes, so I have acted for a while. And in my county we do this thing every 5 years. We do a big play at the Broy Hill Civic Center every year. And every year we do a big old play. So the first play that we did, I was in 5th grade, and it was Beauty and the Beast. And so when I knew, so acting is like kind of like my back burner thing. Like I can act, but like singing is my upfront. Like that's the entree. But like my acting skills are like my sides. Like I have those, but I really want to pursue music. But 5th grade they did Beauty and the Beast, and I got casted as Chip, and like I had 50 plus kids who are my age who auditioned for that same exact part, and I got it. And so it was very big blessing, and that's how I knew like I had those acting skills as well. So those are like tiny little things that I have, but I want to pursue music. And also I considered doing voice acting for a long time because I can do a lot of different voices and stuff and all sorts of things. Um but that also helps with my voice too, with being able to like control it and stuff. And I just did one last year. We did the Wizard of, not last year. Yeah, last year. No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we did the Wizard of Oz, and I
Hmm.
got cast as the wizard, and so that was a very cool thing. But yeah, I've done some acting and stuff.
Well, in your acting, do you kind of do like Tim Conway and all of them? Do they kind of go off script and just kind of put your own little
Oh,
thing?
yes, I am 100% ab-libber. Ab-libber. I ad-lib most of my stuff, like Jim Carrey in most of his movies. He ad-libs most of the stuff that he says in his movies, and I'd like to say, like, on that side of acting, like I'm definitely like him. Like I ad-lib a lot of stuff, and most of the time they make cuts. Like there was one time I was doing a rehearsal and I said something that was not even like close to being on the script, like would not have been on the script at all. And my teacher thought it was the funniest thing. It was the right moment, right time. And she thought that was the funniest thing ever. So she was like, add that. She was like, that is hilarious. She was like, you have to add that. So I'm definitely an ad libber.
Yeah, I was in a play and to me, it's hard for me to concentrate and to study and to memorize everything because I can memorize something. If a squirrel runs out in front of me like a dog, what, and I don't lose track. So I do the same thing. And so the play I was in, I did the same thing, just whatever come in my mind, whatever that, and it's really not that hard to do, is it? Because
Um,
you're following with the script, but you kind of
yeah,
following. The only thing is, the other person don't know when their line comes in.
yeah, that is a that is a huge. It's a big risk at the same time because you have your lines that other actors are also relying on that make sense with it. So like with me, like I have to find the perfect place and the perfect time for it. And the thing with me when I'm acting, I implement my like own sarcasm and my own like personality into it. Like I implement my bubbly spirit into Mr. Green from Clue or like the wizard from the Wizard of Oz. Like I am the character that I am pursuing, like or persuading to be, and so portraying as like that specific character, and so like I am the character, so I still need to implement myself into it, but still be someone else at the same time.
Exactly. That's when, and that makes, to me, that makes the play more realistic. It really does, because you're sitting there and you got people reading this little line here, and what's the kind of next line, and this right here. It kind of cuts up, and a lot of great actors have done that. Who's your favorite actor that you
Oh
really?
my gosh. Anne Hathaway is my number one. I love her so much. She can sing. She can act. She beat Kelly Clarkson in a singing competition. It was like
Yes. Uh-huh.
if you get to it at first, like, beat her at her own song. And I was like, oh my gosh, this girl can sing and act. So Anne Hathaway, girl, you are my number one. Please text me, girl. We're best friends. She just doesn't know it yet.
Well, you're adopted too. I've
Yeah.
seen that, and people, you're going to see that in a few minutes. We got a clip here of your intro at the that they put out there for you, and we're gonna show that in a minute. I love it. A good clip. They did a good job on that. And now, well, your acting and singing really, to me, that is a plus because you got some that's just actors and that's it. To me, you got a really an edge there with your singing talent and your music, and that you will be able to follow that path of acting and singing.
Yeah.
Now, uh, are you thinking about going back to American Idol? Because I see
Uh,
a lot of people your age and you're young, and they wait a couple years like that and go back, and they just soar. Uh, so have you ever thought about that, or is this just
um,
your dream
so
from 8 years ago? 8 years ago.
well, I mean, yeah, there's a part of me that wants to go back because of all the friends that I've made and the massive opportunities that it's given me. And I think the thing with me is that like if someone doesn't reach out to me and like is like, hey, like I saw something in you, do you want to come to my studio? We'll sign you off, like, get signed off, like have an amazing group, make my own music. If that doesn't happen, which is fine, obviously, if it doesn't, because I have so many years of my life to figure that out. Um, but if that doesn't happen, then I definitely 100% consider going back and calling it Carson's comeback. I already have a name for it and everything. So definitely gonna go back if nobody reaches out and it's like, hey, we'll sign you off. Come over to my studio.
Now, how many songs have you written yourself?
Um, so oh gosh. I have one that I have a sneak peek that is posted on my Instagram that you can go see. It's a song that I have not revealed the title yet, but you could probably guess what the title is. But I have a few songs that I'm making like in the mix right now. I'm currently working towards an album, but right now singles are what I'm going for and covers.
Oh, okay. Well, I usually ask this of most artists, uh, did how do you get your inspiration uh, to some of these songs? I mean, that you're writing, your original writings.
Okay, so my grandfather, before he passed away from cancer a few years back, he was a musician himself, and so when he passed away, I inherited his lyrics that he wrote. He would be like sitting in a random place, and write lyrics on napkins, like because it would just come, you know. So he was a lyric writer, and so like I get most of my lyrics from him, but then like I also am inspired by like other people and like things that I've been personally through and stuff, and so like I can implement them into my songs, and so heartbreak, or struggles or depression, anxiety, like happiness, religion, all that stuff that I go through, I can put into my music. So a lot of my inspiration comes from my experiences.
Right, and that's where most artists do, and a lot of writers, a lot of writers really. So you got an edge there too, writing and the music yourself. But I've known some that has people that writes music for them, and even the Oak Ridge Boys, they got people that write songs for them, and one especially, and that's where they come up with Elvira. And I tell this a lot, where the writer came up to a stop sign and looked up, and there was a street sign that said Elvira. So he went down
Yeah.
it and had all these chunk holes in it, and that's where the bump a mile come from, him hitting those potholes. And so inspiration can really come from anywhere. I've had artists tell me in the middle of the night they wake up and just think about a couple words and they jot it down, and then they add to it later on and bring it back. And I think that's very interesting. To me, that's your creative thought process in your mind that you probably would do this here, that you just be sitting there talking to someone in a restaurant or doing this or that, and theme something comes in your mind, right?
Yeah.
What is your favorite song that you've written?
So I don't know. I try to keep everything really secretive. I try to keep all my titles and stuff. So there's this one song that I'm working on right now that is about the loss of my grandfather. Because me and him, we had so much in common because he was a musician. So like my grandma tells me all the time, like if he was alive today, like he'd have you in the studio all the time. And so I that song is my probably my number one favorite song right now, and it's not even finished yet. Um, but that's probably my number one. It's about my grandfather who passed away.
Oh, okay. Have you been up to Nashville?
I have been up to Nashville, yes.
Now, that's where the American Idol you went for the audition,
Yeah,
correct? First? Oh, okay. Of course you've been there. Because a lot of uh, people I've interviewed, magicians like yourself, they go up there either record or, to me, that whole street. If you walk down the whole street, you hear all these different music, and they got their windows and doors open there to where you can see the band as you're from the sidewalk and you can hear them. I think that's
yeah.
so neat. And now I know that one of your favorite singers that you enlightened me on that you love is Adele.
Yes, yes. I am like obsessed with her. She is so amazing. I have all of her songs downloaded onto my phone. It kills my storage, but I really don't care because in a time of crisis, I do in fact need her to help me get through the support. So yes, Adele is like my number one. I love her so so much.
Now, do you sing any of her songs?
Yes, in fact, I do. And a lot of them I can play on the piano, because a lot of her music has piano. And now there's some of them that you can't, but a lot like I know all of her songs word for word. So
Wow.
I feel like I could go on a TV show that was like Who Knows Adele the Most, and I would win that thing. I I would win it. Like if it was like finish the lyrics, like I would know like that. Like I know all of her songs.
Well, they had this program, Name That Tune, and you'd probably
Yeah.
nail it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they let you like submit like your artist that way it's not throwing you off completely.
Yeah, my son there, he loves music. He's been collecting music ever since he was probably 2 years old. And if you've seen his music room, just picture probably a room. I don't know, it's probably 18 by 20, a big room. Every
Yeah.
place has got records, CDs, and he can tell you where they at. And I had a trivia on it trying to stump him a little bit on the show, and it was hard to do because he
Yeah.
knew he knows this music real well, and they can't stump you on the Dale, right?
No,
Now,
cannot.
now, what gave you the inspiration or idea? Said I want to I want to try out for American Idol.
So it's actually a really funny story. So I have always wanted to be on the show for a very, very long time. But I never really like had the confidence to go out and do that because that's national TV. Until randomly, I like last year their auditions had closed and I didn't know. So I went to go look at them and I was like, okay, let me see if they're open. And they had already closed. Like I was like a week late. And I was like, ah, dang it. And so like I just kind of gave up on that until a random Tuesday. I was sitting in my car and I was with my mom on my way to a doctor's appointment just for like a checkup. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see if their auditions are open again. You know, like what could hurt? And so I went to go look, and that Thursday was their last video virtual audition to go on TV before you went on TV. Like that was their last virtual audition day, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" So my mom, she like completely rearranged her schedule, and she was like, "If you're going for it, go for it." And so I went for it, and we signed out. We signed up, like we signed all of the paperwork while we were in the middle of my doctor's appointment. And then that Thursday, that like coming up Thursday, I had my virtual audition as like a joke almost. Like I was like, you know what, like what do I have to lose? What do I have to lose? And I went and auditioned, and they were like, okay, we're gonna send you to Nashville, and I'm like, you're gonna what? And so there was a huge moment for me.
So now, how did you? 'Cause this is for people that's wanting to really know how to do this. Now, you went online to American Idol, and is there's a button there you clicked, and you got what type of things did they ask for you on these forms and stuff? I'm curious even myself. Not to go sing
So
though.
with a lot of the songs, so because of my age, there's only a certain age group that I can sing. And so they try to keep a lot of my songs PG and stuff. Though, like Lose Control has like that little bit of an aspect of like a little bit of like an obsessive love song. Um, it's like such a soulful song, and I'm such a soul singer, you know. And so a lot of the forms that they had us sign was like, agreements, like because like you're a child, like you have to like abide by these laws, like like stuff like that. And I couldn't be on TV for a long time, which is fine. But there's a lot of stuff that I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about. So there's a lot of stuff that I have to like not talk about. Um,
Right.
there was a lot of stuff um, that was just really a good old time.
So when you got your forms, you fill those out and you send it in to them. Did you have to send a video along with it?
So with the audition process online, there was two options that you could do. You could rather submit a video of yourself auditioning, and that was it. Like you filled out your paper, like your name, the song you're singing, where you're from, bio about yourself, submit a video, that's it. Then there's also like a Zoom call where you can
Hmm.
do it in person, and that's what I chose to do. And for the first round of it, it's you're just sitting in a waiting room. They make you keep your camera on so they know that you're still there, and they slowly pull you into different like rooms and stuff to audition and stuff. And they have a guy in there like talking about how to like set up your audio so it's not all muffled and stuff. And I was in that Zoom call for 6 hours.
Ooh.
Uh, long time. And so I got pulled into my first room, and my judge like they tell you to have at least 3 songs prepared. So I had 3, maybe 4. I think I had 4 songs. My first judge had me sing 6. So I sang 2 songs out of Putney or Nowhere. I don't even know where I got them from, but I sang them. And so she was like, "You can handle that pressure." She was like, "I'm gonna send you through to the second round." So there's 3 different rounds, and I was like, "Okay, great, cool, okay, great." um, so I was like, "Okay, so this like something's happening. This is a little odd. I didn't know it was gonna be that good." Okay, um, so there was about 2,000 people the first day of that day for the first round. And mind you, there were different call times, so there were like thousands of people just that one day auditioning. My call time, they had 2,000 in the first, like in the waiting room, and to the second round, they had 80 people make it to it. 80 people made it to the second round, so a huge cut. And then getting out of the third round, only three of us made it, and I was one of the three people who got to go on TV to audition.
Wow. Now, when each one of these moments they brought you in, how long was each little interview?
Okay, so the first time, like the first time I saw a judge, me and her got along really well, and she actually ended up being my producer, which was really nice. Her name was Annie. Shout out Annie. She was fantastic, and she was so sweet, and I felt like with that I was able to connect a little bit more instead of being so like, oh my gosh, like I'm so nervous. Like I was able to connect, and so that helped me calm down a little bit more, and I went for it, and so I was on that one for about, I like to say, 30 minutes. Like you wait all that time for like 30-minute interaction. But like for me, like for others, I'd like to say 30 minutes. But for me, I was in there for about an hour. Like my first time, I was in there for an hour because I had to sing six different songs.
Well, most people probably there, and I wonder how many dropped off that even got to that point because it's having to wait so long. And I
Yeah.
think they probably do that for your endurance because sometimes you're going to have
Yeah.
to wait and wait.
They are definitely separating the men from the boys.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's to me, this is very interesting because I know a lot of people is wondering how do you apply and what you're going through that first section like that. And when did you find out the news? Did you find out that time that you will be
At
going?
night, I figured out that I was going. So my closest state that I could have went to was Nashville, or my second option would have been New York, but I was in Nashville. And 2 weeks later, after that Thursday, 2 weeks later, I went out to Nashville, Tennessee, and auditioned. And so it was like go, go, go. Like I had 2 weeks to prepare, pack, all that stuff. Tell my teachers like, huh, gotta go. Um, so there was I mean, like a long, 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 long call, but definitely worth it. And so that night I figured out, but it was well worth the wait. And I was in the waiting room for about 3 of those 6 hours. Like I was in there for a long time, just sitting there. And if you left it, and if you left your camera, and they couldn't see you anymore, that like restarted your waiting time. Like
Oh, wow.
you just like, it was like literally like the pick of the litter. Like if they went in there and like they saw you at first, but then like they came back and then you weren't there anymore, they don't pick you. And so they just like, it's kind of like a pick of the litter, so you have to stay on the camera. And that was the hardest part for me because I'm impatient. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. The first time in my life, I'm gonna try and have patience, and that's what I did.
Yeah, you can see my mom bring my food here. I'm not leaving this
Yeah,
spot.
I could not leave my spot. And if I had to pee, I made my mom sit in front of the camera. That way that they
Hey,
wouldn't think there
you,
was no one.
you, you know that'd be funny if your mom's going to have to sing.
Well, and that's a good thing because my mom can sing.
Well, I know, and then you
She's
come
not
back.
old enough. She's old. Old.
You come back, and your mom says, "Well, I made it to the next round."
That would be hilarious.
That it would, but you know what? I knowing you, I know you would be right behind her, supporting her.
Oh yeah, one hundred
Cause she look,
percent.
yeah, just on that little video, she looks like she's a real mobile person. Uh,
She
and well, she just about have to be because you're very uh, hyper and very outgoing and like fun of life, and that's a great thing. And so, before we go any further like that, let's watch your. It's about that four. I think it's around 4 minutes or something like that. Your intro that, and then after we get through with that, I want to ask you even about that. Okay. All right. Now that was a fun video.
that definitely is.
Yes, yes, it was. Now, the video at your house and stuff, did they contract someone to come out? Did they come out and do the video?
Yes, so they sent out a whole film crew. Actually, they sent a whole film crew, and it was insane. They were with me from like 8:30 that morning to like 9 o'clock that night. Like they were at my job. They were with me from like early morning to late afternoon.
Wow. Now, did you feed them barbecue?
Yes, my boss gave them free barbecue. Whew, excuse me. Bless me, Lord, hallelujah. Um, I hope they enjoyed it. We never got to see them like eat it, but I'm sure that they loved it, and I'm sure they enjoyed it.
Well, I'm sure they did too, because Sam's got some great barbecue out there. That they do. Now, you you teach dancing and clogging and square dancing. Uh, and you said sometimes you even call the square dance.
Yes, sometimes I do call the square dance, and that is hard in itself because I feel like I need to invest in a megaphone with how loud our bands are sometimes. They can just get so loud, and I screaming over the band to try and tell people what to do with dancing, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, go left!" and they can barely hear me because the band is like so loud.
Well, I imagine you got the voice there to call it out, because I heard you tell them that the other way, the other way. I mean, it's like you're cracking a whip.
It's so hard to do that, especially when they don't know what they're doing. But you have to have patience for that, and that really helps me with building patience because um, a lot of people don't know what they're doing. It's their first time, so I have to teach them what to do, and I love doing that because they get to experience such a great thing.
Now you have got the golden ticket.
Hmm.
Now, what did it feel like getting getting Lionel Richie, Luke, and yeah, there it is, framed,
Yeah,
uh, and teaching him how to dance. Now, Luke had a horrible thing about his
Blake
clogging, didn't he?
had no idea what he was doing, and that I think was hilarious. But honestly, that was a huge part for me because I felt like I was able to bring some of myself to them, and that helped me honestly calm a lot of my nerves. Because I felt already connected, and so I was able to like be chill, because at the end of the day, they were just people, and so like they weren't just celebrities, like they were just people, and like I felt like at that point, like I was teaching them something instead of me showing them that I could sing and then teaching me like notes and stuff. Like I was able to teach them how to do something they didn't know how to do. And so like there was like there was equalness there. And so like I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm like experiencing this with them and like I'm calm now. And so I was able to be my full self.
Now, out of the three, Carrie Underwood did the best clogging, didn't she?
She did. She was really good.
Like she said, she'd been around it
Yes, and
quite a
Luke
bit.
definitely said he was too, but not the right kind.
Well, Lionel Richie's, he looked like he played those spoons pretty good.
He did. He was really good. He was honestly, Lionel was so sweet. He was one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my entire life. He's just so genuinely nice and so
Yeah, and people don't realize that people they still do play the spoons. I don't know if they play them that big or not. I know that I've seen some play the smaller regular spoons,
yeah.
and you play them also, right?
Yes, I do play the spoons.
Do you practice those spoon playing?
So no, I the only practice I get is when I'm at my job. I did get taught by one of my coworkers, buddy, which he passed away not too long ago, from a stroke or a heart attack, in his sleep, and he taught me how to do it. But the thing with spoons is that it's a rhythm thing, and so being a musician helps because I know rhythm, and
Uh,
so no, I don't really practice the spoons that much.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Jerk or not, but I got the rhythm about like he did. It's horrible.
I'm sorry.
Now, when you're going before the judges, right before, but behind the stage and curtains, they've got you lined up with others, or are you able to see? other performers before you?
So I'm not allowed to see their performance, but I am able to see if they get a yes or a no, and because like there's a waiting room right outside the door, and so I was able to see, and me thinking statistically while I was up there being absolutely anxious, seeing all those people getting yeses and then a no. And so I think statistically, I'm like, okay, two yeses and a no, three yeses and a no, two yes, a no, two no's, three yes, like I'm thinking like statistically. And then like I get in there and they're like, you're going to Hollywood. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, I kind of know that your mama was really excited. I could tell on there.
That she was. I don't think Luke knew how to process my mom. I think he realized where I get my bubbliness from.
Yeah, I could tell, and even in the video, I could tell she was excited and proud of you. Uh,
Yeah.
Now, when they give you the ticket to Hollywood, do you actually go to Hollywood?
So I don't. Yes, I mean, like I've been in Hollywood. Yes.
Okay, because I was just always kind of curious about that. So you going to Hollywood, and and they, when you go and everybody that's in Hollywood Week, do they put you in a room after everybody's finished singing,
Mm-mm.
or okay, or was that another
You have to
stage?
sit there and watch everybody.
Do what now?
During the arena round, you had to sit there and watch your competition, which was very difficult for me, and that's how I think I got eliminated, was because I got in my head, my confidence was shot, and
Uh-huh.
so I was surrounded by all those amazing people, and I was like, oh, I'm 16, I don't really deserve this. And then like my confidence was shot, and I think that's what got me. But my mom tells me, she was like, with your personality, Carson, if you would have made it past Hollywood Week into live voting, there would have been no stopping you.
Right, right. And you're sitting in an auditorium watching everyone perform because I know they show the cameras sometimes out there on some of these performances. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I could imagine just sitting out there, and like you said, some of them are very good. We have a lady here, a young lady. Actually, she's not much older than you are. Uh, her Jasmine Humphreys, and uh, she got to the, I guess, out of the arena and went to the next stage. And of course, she didn't make it through that stage right there. Still young in talent, and
Yeah.
but I see the American Idol being a huge stepping stone for you. I
Yes,
mean,
definitely stepping stone.
huge. And now you sung "Lose Control" by Teddy Swim, and I like Teddy Swim after I saw him some of his reels, and first of all, I didn't know who he was. He just kind of walk up, on the street. I know there had to be kind of a stage there, but and got up there singing. I said, "Wow!" And it kind of reminds me of Jelly Roll, also.
Yes.
So now, when you were in Hollywood, did you get to go any sightseeing?
So no, there were so many like there was so much. Now there was a day where they got a break, but I had already flown back home at that time, because I had been eliminated. But there was the day after I got eliminated, that was their rest day until the next competition. And then so I didn't, but there was a lot of rehearsals and a lot of filming and a lot of interviews and so many things that we had to do. Um, so
Well,
I think
most people think, and including myself, is that okay? Going to Hollywood, you go there and just kind of do your thing like that until they call you up there. That's not so, is it?
mm-mm.
Uh,
Oh.
so what time did you have to get up that morning?
I would like to say we got up at 6 o'clock every morning, and we didn't get in bed until about 11:30 midnight.
Wow.
Long day. But honestly, the good thing about being in chorus and a lot of conventions that I go to, I'm used to that. So that was something I had an upper hand in because I knew when to wake up to have my voice already ready. So that
Hmm.
helped me a lot. And that was a blessing. That's also something that I get with experience as it being a minor, is that like I go to school, and so like I go to those conventions, and I'm used to late nights and early mornings, and late nights and then early mornings, and singing throughout the day, knowing how to control my voice that way I don't shoot it or anything, you know.
Right. And you didn't have to flip any breakers, did you?
No, I did not.
With your tools, that is. I like what your mom says, with his tools, because I did my wife the same way. You know, she got everything laid out, and I said, well, you got your tools out. I'll build to Edna. That's what I call her.
Yeah,
But you know, with your family backing you, and like I said, American Idol, that's a big stepping stone for you. I mean,
that,
at your age, uh, I just can't even fathom me. I never remember me at 16. Only thing I was worried about was driving, get my driver's license, get a car,
yeah,
you know, nothing else like that. But you got so much talent and the personality, and that makes a big, huge difference when you got that whole package, that whole combination. And I'm sure they told you the same thing.
they-
And so,
yeah.
do you have anything that you want to add, or?
All I can say is that honestly, keep tuning into American Idol because there's so much talent. And just because I got eliminated doesn't mean that I'm not going to be back, or you're not going to see any more of me. So for anybody watching that is upset that I got eliminated, don't be upset for too long because I'll be back. And or you'll see more of me out in the future. Just very blessed for my community, and blessed for the opportunity.
Well, they also can see you and contact you by your social
Yeah.
media pages, and
Yes,
go ahead
my
and tell them.
social medias are all Carson Webb official. No spaces, no capitals, just Carson Webb official.
Carson Webb official,
Yep.
uh, officially. So you'll be able to reach him there, and if you want him to sing, contact him, and he can give you all the logistics there. And but he is a very, very busy person from working and school. And now, will you be getting a summer break, or do you go the whole
Yes, so
summer?
we'll have a summer break coming up in the end of May, and then it won't start back until September or August.
Well, that's a that's a good little break,
Yeah.
and that's probably where you do most of your recordings and most of your things. Uh,
Yes.
then okay. Well, Carson, I really appreciate you coming on and telling us
Absolutely.
a little bit behind the scenes, a little bit of American Idol and how you the process that you went through it. Uh, uh, that really it means a lot because it's a lot of young talent that don't know how to go through those steps.
Yeah.
And seeing you at 16 years old going through those steps, you know, uh, hey, they can do it.
Thank
And
you.
and it might but it's hard. It's not one of them easy things, is it?
No, it is not easy,
Uh,
but honestly, well worth it.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to give a little intro here and tell about my next guest, and I'll come right back to you and we'll say goodbye. Okay. Just hold on a second.
All right.
All right. Carson Webb's what we've been listening to tonight, and you can contact him on his social media pages there. If you want him to sing, he does all kind of great things there. Next week, we're going to have Trey Calloway. He's a 224 Country Music Association Christian Songwriter of the Year of 2024. He's got several other awards and country singer. So tune in next Monday and we'll be able to talk to him and pick his brain a little bit. Again, thank you, Carson, and you have a wonderful, wonderful week.
You too. Thank you so much, Jerry.
You're welcome.
Bye now.
Bye.